or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Monday, April 6th, 2026. Me and you for two. Those are the rules of engagement. You know the deal. And it's the fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. And the password to be a co-host is 1-800-919-3776. 1-800-919-3776. So, Carlin and Asman just talking about the Dexter Lawrence requesting a trade, see what the Giants could get for him. He has not performed all that great over the last couple of years for the Giants. He wants more money. The Giants are saying, nah, we're good. So now he wants to be traded. He's not going to come to any of the offseason workouts. And we'll see what the Giants could get for him. But wanted to mention that if you want to talk about it, we're more than willing to do it. We're going to do some baseball right at the start. The Mets had a really good weekend in San Francisco. That's what you want. You want to go in and you want to beat bad teams. And the Giants right now are a bad team. So the Mets took 3 out of 4. You take it, you run with it, and then you come back home. So all in all, a 4-3 road trip. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals. They shouldn't have done that. But then they came back and they won 3 out of 4 against the Giants. So good stuff for the Mets. Still waiting to see what the decision is going to be when it comes to Juan Soto. How long will they wait? How long will they wait before putting him on the IL? And if they put him on the IL, how long is it going to take? So he's undergone an MRI. And the one thing that you always notice about Soto, just go to Baseball Reference and check this out, or the back of his baseball card. Guy posts up every day. Plays every day. Never wants a day off. So if this guy goes on the IL, for 10 days, that's telling you something. And I've always told you this. If you listen to the show, you know that I feel strongly about this. Calf injuries are a bear. It's a long time to come back from it. Everything works off that part of the body, and you just do not want to mess with that. I know that he's probably pressuring the Mets. I could play, but the bottom line is the Mets have to say discretion is the better part of valor. So they didn't say what degree it was, what degree the injury was, but they said it was not as bad as it could have been. So good, that's knock on wood, but that doesn't mean that you put him into the game on Tuesday. It just doesn't mean that. So we'll see what the Mets do again. In this case, calf, your most important player, discretion is the better part of valor. So the thing that jumped out at me in the San Francisco series, I spoke about this the other day, the way that Kodai Senga pitched yesterday. Normal rest, which he doesn't do very often, and he pitched well. The velocity was there. The ghost fork was there. I've been saying this for a while. This guy stays healthy, then you actually just, in a titular way, you will move Nolan McLean down to the number 3 spot in the rotation. Peralta would be first. Senga would be second. You take so much pressure off a rookie, and you put Nolan McLean as your number 3. He pitched a perfect game into the 6th inning against the Giants over the weekend as well. This guy's a real pitcher, and if Senga, A, continues to hold his stuff, B, doesn't get hurt, which is always an issue with him, and then C, can pitch on normal rest, that's a home run for the Mets. That's a home run. I told you how I feel about Clay Holmes. That's 4 real good starting pitchers. Peterson didn't pitch well, so that's it's just a blip to me. It's too early to be concerned about anything, anywhere, but the Mets have starting pitching. The Mets have starting pitching, and the bullpen did a good job yesterday as well. They came from behind in the 8th inning, so they won that game, and again, they win 3 out of 4 against a Giant team that it's not that good. They have a novice as a manager, and Tony Vitello. Never played professionally, never coached professionally, never managed professionally. Did a great job at the University of Tennessee, but 47 years old, and they throw him into the fire. Also, Buster Olney. Buster Posey is running baseball operations for them. Great player, Hall of Fame player in all likelihood, but is he a GM? Sometimes players make the worst GMs because what they look for in a player is not the thing that you look for when you build a team. Look around at the best organizations in baseball. They don't have an ex-player running their baseball operations. So we're giving Buster Posey the benefit of the doubt. We'll see how it works out. But Yankees swept them 3 in a row. Mets took 3 out of 4. And we'll see exactly what happens as we move forward. To the Yankees. The Yankees, they lost yesterday in their attempt to sweep the Marlins. And they've gotten off to a great start. They're 7-2. But there are some things that could be long-term concerns. And one of them is their bullpen. And I told you this when I was making my quote-unquote picks at the end of spring training. There's one thing I worry about with this team, and that's the bullpen. And I think that, 9 games in, that's still the thing to worry about. David Bednar, I think, is very good. He has a high whip of like 1.5, so he's not Mariano. No one is, but he's going to put people on base. And his last 2 outings, he threw 40 pitches and then over 30 pitches. That's too much. Now, the game on Saturday, when he threw all those pitches, part of that was because of Jazz Chisholm kind of like lollygagging a ground ball, and Otto Lopez beat it out. So that turned an inning that could have been 1-2-3 into a long, arduous inning, and he threw a lot of pitches, which meant that he wasn't available yesterday. So the guys that were available is kind of your second tier, and it just didn't work out. Didn't work out. That is something, if you're a Yankee fan, that you could be a little bit concerned about. Now, they've got moves they can make. Because when everybody gets healthy in the starting rotation, and again, Max Fried was really good yesterday, despite not having his best stuff, and he turned a lead over to the bullpen, but you just knew, they had to get 8 outs. And because they'd used so many of the arms for so many pitches the previous night, that a lot of the high leverage guys were not available. I didn't know how they were going to get the 8 outs, and they didn't. Jake Bird, who had pitched well in his first couple of outings, couldn't get the ball over the plate. Loaded the bases, turned it over, and they couldn't get outs. Camilo Doval didn't pitch well on Saturday. He looked like he was going to pitch the 10th inning if the Yankees completed their comeback in the bottom of the 9th inning. They almost did, but they just fell short, so they lost by 1 run. But the bullpen is a concern. And, when I talk about the starters coming back, the bullpen could have a completely different configuration. You might see Ryan Weathers, who throws 98, 99 miles an hour, coming out of the bullpen. You could see Will Warren coming out of the bullpen. You could see Luis Heel coming out of the bullpen. You might see at some point, if the bullpen continues to be a little bit of an issue, Yankees will bite the bullet and call up Carlos Legrande because his stuff would play out of the bullpen. He throws 102, 103, and if he could get the ball over, he's not a bad guy to have come out of the bullpen. So they might have some answers before they have to make trades. It's still early. And the fact that they've gotten off to a good start and the rest of the American League East has not, they've got some breathing room. So you can't really go nuts over anything that might be wrong on 7-2. I'm just trying to point out some things they have to fix. Another thing that I'm concerned about is Ryan McMahon. We kept hearing about, he had such a spread stance last year, and that the Yankees are bringing his feet closer together. And he looked a little bit better in spring training. He has not looked good at all offensively, at all. He was 0 for his last 20. He got a hit his first time up in San Francisco. And then from that point on, he was 0 for 21. And then he got a hit yesterday. And he's got to be better. He's just got to be better offensively. This is a guy who had a .240 batting average in Coors Field, which is not great. And he didn't hit that many home runs in Coors Field. And the Yankees are going to have to do the calculus on their own. How valuable do they look at his defense that they can overlook his offense. And his defense, although I think he has the sweetest glove, he's had a lot of balls in the dirt. His throws have been somewhat suspect. That's a concern as well, but more of the concern to me is the hitting. And the bottom of the order, despite the Yankees being 7-2, they've not hit. Austin Wells not hitting. That follows last year where he didn't hit either. Jose Caballero, remember, there's a lot of people that are within the sound of my voice right now. You are all dreaming that Caballero is going to get off to this great start, and then the Yankees would not have to go to Anthony Volpe. Believe me. I told you, even if he was hitting 350, they're going to Anthony Volpe. He's not hitting 350. He has not been able to get out of his own way. Has not been able to get out of his own way offensively. The guy's a great base stealer and was never a great hitter in his previous stops before the Yankees. And he had 240 last year when he came over to the Yankees, which was a great improvement over what he was hitting in Tampa Bay. But there's an opportunity for him to grab a lot of playing time, and he's not doing it. He's just not hitting. So the bottom of the Yankee order has been absent. Absent. And they still score runs. And they're still 7-2. Again, just pointing out things that are not perfect on the Yankee end. You can feel good about 7-2, and you should. And you shouldn't panic about anything on April 6th. But my point is, the bullpen is something to be concerned about, and McMahon and his lack of offense, which goes back throughout his career, is also something to be worried about. 1-800-919-3776. A lot of stuff to talk about. I know people want to talk. We'll get to you. National championship game is tonight. It's Michigan against UConn. And we got the Knicks against the Hawks tonight as well. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Ray in Albany to start it off. Ray,
how you doing, Mike? Long time listener.
Thanks.
First time caller.
Welcome aboard.
Just wanted to ask you about these Yankee fans. Why are they still chanting F. Soto 500 days later?
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, Ray. They make themselves look small. They really do. It's like your girlfriend left you. She decided to marry somebody else. And 2 years later, you're still pining about it? Stop it. Yankee fans, it does not look good. It's a bad look for you to do that. Now, I could not hear it yesterday. You know, I have the headphones on, and it wasn't bleeding through the headphones. But I was reading about it today that a lot of Yankee fans in the game yesterday were saying bleep Juan Soto, which is a continuation of bleep Jose Altuve. Now, I understand with Altuve, because Yankee fans think they got cheated out of a chance to go to the World Series because of Altuve. Get it. Still low class when there are kids in the ballpark and you're saying bleep Altuve. But yesterday, it kind of morphed into bleep Juan Soto. Stop, man. You look awful. You got to let it go. You got to let it go. You know, the pivot for Juan Soto turned out pretty good for the Yankees. They still won 94 games. They won a round in the playoffs, and they ended up losing to the Blue Jays. Not what you dream of. You want to win a championship again. He left. And now you're going to start this thing? Is this going to be a thing every single game? It makes you look small. It makes you look small and insignificant. That's not the thing to do, Yankee fans. And I know it's not everybody, but it's not the thing to do. Why would you think that that's the thing to do? I don't get it. I don't get it. And don't you realize that you're giving this unbelievable amount of ammunition to Met fans, that the fact that Juan Soto left to go to Queens and you can't get over it? My advice, get over it. Great player. I would have loved to have seen him come back. He made his choice, and that's all there is to it. But now you're going to make it a thing? Is this going to be like, you know, the Trottier chant at the Garden? Is it going to be like the Altuve situation? You know how bad it makes you look? Do you know how bad it makes you look? Oh, it's Potvin, not Trottier. Yeah, it's Potvin. Thank you, Ray. And now that's kind of a joke. And it wasn't because of anything. Potvin left the Rangers. You know, he was a thorn in their side. But this is all because Juan Soto left. Oh, my goodness. Stop. David on the east side. David.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I'm really surprised that you couldn't hear it. I thought you were I thought you were doing the professional thing and being silent to let the fans hear it because it was such an embarrassment.
I could. Did it come across the TV?
It came across the TV. You can see the clips on Twitter if you Google that.
Wow,
Juan Soto,
David, I swear to you, until I read about it today, I had no idea that it was being done. I would have said something on the air because, again, it makes a great fan base look small. It really does.
Fair enough. I think the thing to do is don't say anything on the air. Let the fans hear it. But in any event, it's an embarrassment. There are already two types of Yankee fans, and I'm a Yankee fan, but two types of Yankee fans I hate. The ones that root for the Dallas Cowboys because, I'm the best, and I root for the best team, not, because I'm a New Yorker. And number two, the ones that always mention the 27 rings. So I want to make a third category, the ones that are still saying F. Juan Soto 2 years after he left. You're a disgrace to Yankee fans. If you ever hear that again at the stadium, we should all be booing them and drowning them out. It's an embarrassment.
It is. And again, you're giving ammunition, David, to Met fans. Met fans are laughing at that you can't get over this guy. Juan Soto did nothing wrong. Nothing. All he did was play 1 year for the Yankees, played his butt off, and helped the Yankees get to the World Series. And then he made a financial decision, and he left and he went to the Mets. You got to get over it, man. You got to get over it. That kind of chant makes you look awful, like you're this spurned lover and you can't get over the fact that your girlfriend left you. Stop it. Stop it. You had a better year last year than the Mets did. Isn't that enough? Mets didn't make the playoffs. Awful. Just absolutely awful. Go to Big E in Phoenix. What's up, Big E?
Hey, Mike. Thanks for taking the call.
You got it.
I just wanted to kind of clarify. So you talked about John Carlos Stanton last week and kind of his legacy and kind of the legacy of the trade and all that. And I just wanted to clarify a couple of things because me being a Yankee fan, I can't think of. I mean, obviously besides Aaron Judge, who's our captain, I can't think of a better example post Jeter than John Carlo. A leader, goes about his business. He's kind of taken the slings and arrows of fans, media alike. But I was going to say when you said last, that the Yankees would take that back. I was just wondering why you said that because I look at John Carlo and I could, the only thing I can do is kind of compare him to Judge. And we talked about the postseason and how much that matters to us Yankee fans, but. John Carlo, we can always, except for last year was kind of an anomaly because he wasn't great last year. But
he was great.
Every time
he was great. He was unbelievable.
Well, yeah,
except he didn't play a lot. He only played 70 games.
Yeah. So my thing is, if we're going by championships, and I guess my question I would like to pose to you is, you look at John Carlos Stanton, so we can always kind of count on him to be there for the postseason. There's a lot of Yankee fans. I don't subscribe to that think that Aaron Judge isn't clutch or he's kind of he's so in the playoffs, but you said the only way the trade would be worth it for John Carlos if they win. So I guess my question to you is, on that same line, even though he's the captain of our team, if Judge never wins a championship, is the $300 and some odd million that Hal paid him worth it? I mean, especially when you look at John Carlos' contract. I know the Marlins paid a lot for his his portion of the deal, so we kind of got him on the I guess on the cheap, especially if you look at what people are making nowadays, the Bobichets and the guy who signed with the Tucker in L.A. I just feel like it's kind of I feel like John Carlo, we've never lost because of him. And I think it was looking back on it, I think it was a really good trade. And I think you'd have to do it again. I mean, I get the injuries and stuff like that, but when the guy plays, not only is he a leader, but he's a force. I mean, I don't know if he's going to continue to hit 500 for the next 150 plus games of the season. I don't even know if he's going to play every game. Maybe there's an injury down the line, but I feel like John Carlos is such a great Yankee. I feel like he doesn't get enough, attention and kind of love.
Listen, I get what you're saying, and I essentially agree with you. He has handled himself beautifully throughout his time here. By the way, this is his 9th year that he's played for the Yankees. It's unbelievable that he's been here 9 years. And when he does play, for the most part, he plays well. And why I said they've got to win a championship with him to make that deal worthwhile. Because the guy they made the trade for is not the guy who plays right now. And one thing he does, he hits really well. He slugs well. He's a good teammate. He's very well respected in the room. But he is a limited player. He can't play the field, albeit in an emergency he does. He can't run, albeit on Saturday he did. And he's had a hard time staying healthy. So when I say they wouldn't make that deal again if they don't win a championship out of it, what I mean is this. You could have gone other places. You could have signed Bryce Harper. You could have used that money for other things. You've tied up the designated hitter spot essentially for the last 9 years. And that's not the way you want it on a good team. You want that spot to be a spot where you can rest people as well. So when you say you compare it to Judge plays for the most, he has been hurt, but not hurt with soft muscle injuries like Stanton. And of late, he plays almost every single game. And he plays the outfield at a very, very high level. And he runs the bases well. And he hits for a high average. So no, even if they don't win a championship with Judge, you need a player like that on your team. He's a complete player. Giancarlo, although there is a value to him, is not a complete player. He's not. And he has hit in the postseason, but last year he didn't. In 2024, he was a big reason why they got to the World Series. He was unbelievable. He and Soto were great. But I still say, unless you win a championship with him, if you could go on the way back machine and do it over again, I don't know if Brian makes that trade again. Because he made that trade thinking he was getting an everyday outfielder who ran well, who hit 59 home runs, was the reigning MVP in the National League. The Yankees pivoted there because they lost out on Shohei Ohtani. They thought they were getting Ohtani. And then when he decided to go to the Angels, boom, they pivoted and they made the trade for Stanton. They didn't pivot and sign Harper or anything like that. There are other players they could have gone to that were more complete players. That's my only point. And I only have great admiration for Stanton. The way he handles himself, the way he does interviews, win, lose, draw, great game, bad game. He's one of the leaders on the team. He truly is. But unless they win a championship with him and because of him, I'm not sure they make that deal again. I'm just not. I could be wrong. Maybe one day I'll ask Brian that. Well, the final college basketball game is tonight. That's right, you know it. And FanDuel giving all customers a profit boost. Build the same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout, or try live betting and jump in after tip-off. Best of all, with FanDuel, you get paid instantly when you win. Just visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local to claim your first profit boost and keep the action going from now till the big championship. FanDuel, play your game. 21 plus and physically present in New York, opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Wow, that's a lot of distractions. Why don't you just focus on the road?
Relax, I'm a great driver.
What about other drivers? Not everyone's a great driver.
I can watch out for them. I'll be fine.
Watch out! In 2023, more than 3,200 people died due to distracted drivers. Keep your eyes on the road. This message brought to you by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
It feels like everyone's sick right now. You aren't imagining it. Doctors say this is the worst cold and flu season in 25 years, and it's not over. I was just traveling. It was like everyone around me was coughing, sneezing, and sick. I can't afford to get sick, and I doubt you can either. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. Having a medical emergency kit is like having urgent care and pharmacy right in your home. It includes essential prescriptions like generic Z-Pak to help you get well faster, plus important antibiotics to treat pneumonia, strep throat, sinus and ear infections, nausea, even UTIs, and many more common and serious illnesses. It's your kit the moment you need it. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's genius. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. I can save you $45 when you use my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. Again, save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
1 in every 6 men is likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime. That's why New York Presbyterian wants to remind men over 50 to book a prostate cancer screening. A simple blood test is all it takes. It could save your life. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester at locations near you. Schedule your annual prostate cancer screening today at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Discover where your future can take you at SUNY Canton Spring Open House on Saturday, April 25th. Explore exciting new programs like data science and analytics and cybersecurity designed to prepare you for today's most in-demand careers. Tour campus, meet faculty, connect with current students, and sit down with financial aid representatives. Plus, attendees can enter for a chance to win a scholarship. For registration details and information about courtesy bus trips from New York, email admissions@canton.edu. SUNY Canton, your future starts here.
Time to bench those other hiring sites and let ZipRecruiter help you build a winning team. With ZipRecruiter, when you need to hire, you get to hire the right fit for any role fast. That's because ZipRecruiter's smart matching technology starts showing your job to qualified candidates immediately. You can also apply filters and add screening questions to your job post to help you save time in scouting first-rate talent. With ZipRecruiter's advanced resume database, you can instantly unlock contact info from a roster of top candidates. That's why over 4.8 million businesses have trusted ZipRecruiter to hire. And check this out. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. No wonder ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site in the game, based on G2. So, if you need to score the best, go with ZipRecruiter. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
No one likes having to choose. That's why, with America's best lineup of hybrids from Hyundai, you get the best of both worlds, like the reliable and efficient Tucson hybrid with America's best warranty, or the stylish yet capable Santa Fe hybrid with the power to navigate the toughest terrain. It's like having your cake and eating it too, but, better. Hybrids from Hyundai. It's the best of both worlds. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. Ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Well, Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7 p.m., the Knicks are in Atlanta to play the Hawks. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. right here on 880 ESPN. Then you have the National Championship game, which is on TBS. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Did you guys and gals see the game that Joe Adell had in the field on Saturday? He robbed 3 home runs, and this was not maybes. He robbed 3 home runs from Mariner batters, one of them being Cal Raleigh. And each robbery was important because of the fact that the Angels won the game 1-0. And in watching one of the robberies, this was the last one, they have a very low fence in right field in Anaheim. And he goes back on a drive, leaps up, and tumbles into the seats. And it's a great catch. He stands up, holds the ball up, and it's an out. And I don't think it should be. Unless your foot is planted on planet Earth, on the field side. If you go up and get a ball and it carries you into the stands, it should be a home run, whether you caught it or not. Your feet are not on the ground. Even if one foot's on the ground, I'll take the college football catch rule. Even if one foot is on the ground, I take it. Then it's an out. But he goes up, and the ball kind of carries him into the stands. Phenomenal athletic play to make the catch. But shouldn't that be a home run? It wasn't not caught on the field of play. Now, a fielder, if it's a really high fly ball deep, cannot hop over the fence, steady himself behind the fence, and make a catch. Can't do that. Not allowed. Well, what's different from what he did? He leaps up in the air. The ball, the momentum of the ball carries him into the stands. He holds on. To me, that's a home run. To other people, it's an out. To the rule book, it's an out. But they should reconsider. They should reconsider. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Elvis in Connecticut. Elvis. Hello, Elvis.
Hey, Michael, how you doing? Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you. What's up, man?
What's that? I was telling on him.
What's the voice?
I'm a big fan of you, Michael.
Wait a minute. Elvis, wait. What's the sound in the back?
I'm sorry, that's your voice.
Well, you got to turn it down, dude. You got to turn it down.
I got you. How about now?
All right, perfect. What do you got?
Mike. Big fan of yours. Mike, again, hope you and your family had a happy Easter, Charlie and the girls, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. You too.
You hit right on the button, Michael. I was going to talk about something, but you were talking about these 3 catches. Let's just go back to the 3 catches of this guy. He did unbelievable catches. I really admire that.
Me too.
But like you said, it's like in football. If you don't make the catch with 2 feet, right, it's not a catch.
Yep.
That's Brian. I'm a big Cowboys fan, born and raised in the Bronx, a Yankee fan. But anyway, we could go that. Another thing that I was going to tell you, Mike. Last time you was not there was somebody covering for you. They was trying to compare Judge with Jeter's teams.
Right.
Remember, when Jeter had his team, it was a dynasty. You know, I'm a big fan of Jeter. I love my captain. I love both captains, Judge and Jeter. Close to 60 years old. I've seen a lot. But the thing is that a lot of Yankee fans, I don't even call them Yankee fans. I just call them like people that like to see me and you off because, again, they don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
You can't compare. First of all, the game was different played. Look at the salaries they paying today, at the salaries they were paying back then, and plus look at the players Jeter had around him, plus the players that Judge had. Don't get me wrong, Judge had Soto, which is another discussion I was going to say real quick. I know I don't have a lot of time. But anyway, very different. I still believe Judge is one of the best Yankees out there. Not in Mount Rushmore, like you say, top 5. Not yet there yet, but he could be there. Another thing is, going real quick to the Soto thing. Remember when Soto was in Washington? This is my opinion. Again, my opinion. He had a team. He went to the World Series. He won, but it was not his team. It was Max. It was, I believe Harper was there. There was a lot of players in there. Let's just put it like that.
He was 19 or 20 years old.
Exactly. So he goes to they switch him to the Padres. When he gets to the Padres, he doesn't get along with Machado, and they both Dominicans because that's not his team. So they traded to the Yankees. And again, like one of my Yankee fans called and they say, "Oh, just blame on Soto." No, we gotta get, like you said, we gotta get over the Soto thing. It's done. It's a done deal. But I'll say this: when Soto came to the Yankees and played that year, phenomenal year, I appreciate it. He helped us get to the World Series. Yes, thank you very much. But again, I believe that the reason that he signed with the Mets instead of the Yankees, he knew the Judge was still going to be Judge's team. He was not going to be a superstar. Now he goes to the Mets. It was for the money or whatever it was. He's going with Lindor. Lindor was the captain there. Now he asked for the locker move or whatever it is.
Well, Lindor's not the captain. There is no captain.
Yeah, but before Soto got there, wasn't Lindor the captain?
No. Everybody thought that he should be. But here's the deal. That's a false narrative. He loved playing with Judge. Loved it. He loved his time with the Yankees. The Mets made a better offer. That was untoppable. and they were not going to be beaten. The only way that Soto was going to return to the Yankees was if he took less. Now, the numbers would seem like they were comparable, but when you throw in the other stuff, I don't want to relitigate this whole thing again, but when you throw in the other stuff, this is worth a lot of money. I mean, after year 5, he can opt out, or the Mets give him $5 million more per year for the last 10 years. That's $50 million more. Then it's a suite. Then it's the 22 tickets in each thing. But he didn't leave. And that seemed to be a big thing that people bring up. He left the Yankees because he wanted to be the man with the Mets. It's not the reason. He loved playing with Judge, and he was still a superstar despite the fact that he was with Judge. Judge took all the pressure off him. Judge is the leader of that team. He didn't have any problems in that Yankee clubhouse, ever. Judge made sure of it. Judge took him in. He was a Yankee for that 1 year. And he loved his time with the Yankees. But again, the Mets made a tremendous offer, and he took it. And he's much happier this year than he was last year. As I said, when I said that he was glum and miserable last year in May, he was. But it takes time. Moving to a new neighborhood, it's going to take time. And I think he has adapted. I think he's very happy there. You could see he's smiling more. I hope that the injury is not serious. But he did not leave the Yankees to get out from the shadow of Judge. That's just false. It's false. Let's go to Spencer in East Windsor. What's up, Spence?
Hey, Mike. Steve Cohen would not have been outbid. Also recommend people listen to Mike Trout's interview with Buster Olney on his podcast. Stanton, he did so much in the game. I liked how you in the broadcast were remarking how he was doing it with his bat and with his feet. I almost thought that the Yankees should have given him a glove and had Bednar fallen into more trouble, have him close out the ninth. That's how good he was doing. I'm amongst the segment of Yankee fans that feels that the Stanton trade was one of the best trades, one of the biggest trades in Yankees history. I thought it was the biggest since they got Alex Rodriguez. And what gets lost amongst Yankee fans when you take a step back and look at it, he is actually the longest tenured Yankee, second only to Aaron Judge.
Yep.
I'm very pleased with him being on the team, and I think he deserves. I think he deserves all the credit in the world. Stanton is more than a baseball player. He really is the embodiment of what you want to have in a Yankee. He's big, he's powerful.
But Spencer, wouldn't you agree with what I said earlier? Though he's not the player they thought they were getting. That player was a multi-dimensional player. This is a one-dimensional player.
I agree with that, Michael, but this is Giancarlo Stanton we're talking about. And I think with a guy of his caliber, you give him that latitude. Also, just considering, it was his 9th season in the league at that point. So he was really reaching the point where, a guy like him is eventually going to switch over to DH. If not, back then a little bit later. So I'm okay with him being at the DH, especially with the way that he's performed for the Yankees. How can we complain? In my opinion, he is a surefire Hall of Famer, whether he gets to 500 or not. I think he will get to 500. My only hope is that when he does reach that 500 plateau, I hope the Yankees, honor him, in an appropriate manner.
Well, if he goes to the Hall of Fame, you know what? He's wearing a Yankee hat on the plaque. I mean, he's much more Yankee than he is Marlins, and I think he needs 46 home runs, which I think he's going to get either this year or next year. So he'll get 500 as a Yankee.
Yeah, he'll definitely get there. Thanks for the talk, Mike. Talk to you next time.
You got it. I just one thing that I hope is that my words are not misconstrued. I think the world of the guy, the way he handles himself, there should be a class on the way he handles himself with the media. Never, ever is rude with the media, answers every question, good, bad, indifferent. He's terrific. But he's had a hard time staying on the field. And when he's on the field, he's a one-dimensional player. He's a hitter. He doesn't run the bases well. He can't because of a lower body that keeps breaking down. And he can't play the field except in an emergency. That makes you a limited player. Now, you could say, well, the Red Sox won championships with David Ortiz. You're right. They did. And that's why I say they've got to win championships with Stanton for it to pay off. For it to pay off. If he's not going to play the field and he goes base to base, then they got to get a championship to show for it. Like the Red Sox had 3 to show for it with Ortiz. So you accept the one-dimensional player if you end up winning titles. 1-800-919-3776. We keep it rolling fastest. 2 hours in sports talk radio. It's the K-Show right here on ESPN New York.
New York Knicks fans, here's a total slam dunk. For a limited time, new Verizon Mobile and home customers can get Fios and Alina Mobile for just $69.99 a month with AutoPay. Get Fios 300 megabits per second for $20 a month and unlimited welcome for $50 a month plus taxes and fees when you bring your own phone. Visit a Verizon store today to learn more. For new Fios Internet and mobile customers, discounts applied over 36 months. Mobile and home discount enrollment required. Additional terms apply. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
Life is motion, but for Jaime, debilitating pain in both hips brought everything, including family time, to a halt.
Every doctor told me the same thing. They would do one hip at a time.
At White Plains Hospital, Dr. Jacob Totka's unique expertise provided an alternate approach by replacing both of Jaime's hips on the same day.
In just 2 hours, I got 2 new hips, and I went home that day.
White Plains Hospital, among the best hospitals anywhere that just so happens to be here. A member of the Montefiore Health System.
Chris Carlin with you. Glad to be joined right now by Taylor Canfield. He is the U.S. Sail GP team driver, and we are all getting ready for the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix coming up at the end of May. Taylor, how we doing?
Yeah, we're excited for the home event in New York, and can't wait to be there and racing in front of all the fans.
Tell us why fans should be excited for the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix.
The racing is just so exhilarating coming in and watching it from the shoreline of Governor's Island and in front of the Statue of Liberty, racing in one of the biggest, most amazing cities in the world. I'm getting the goosebumps just talking about it. And these boats are the fastest boats in the world, racing with the best sailors in the world. It's really cool, and it's going to be so electric in New York. And it's our home event this year, so we're pumped.
We are pumped as well, Taylor. We appreciate your time. He is U.S. Sail GP team driver Taylor Canfield. We're looking forward to the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix coming at the end of May. Taylor, thanks.
Tricon Construction is expanding across New Jersey, taking on larger, more complex commercial projects and delivering at a big league level. If you're a developer who values precision, accountability, and execution, you need a construction partner who understands what's at stake, timelines, capital, reputation. That's Tricon. They're building the right way with experienced leadership, disciplined project management, and a team that shows up ready. Serious projects, serious results. Visit TriconBuilds.com, TriconBuilds.com.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Hi, this is Don LaGreca. I'm big on having the right game plan, on the ice and at home, which is why I use Viking Pest Control myself as the pest control provider and proud partner of the New Jersey Devils. Viking has been protecting homes for over 45 years with expert pest control service and solutions tailored just for you. From ants and cockroaches to rodents, stinging insects, and backyard mosquitoes, Viking keeps pests out of your house and out of the play. Bundle pest control with mosquito services and save big. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com. Viking Pest Control, protecting your home inside and out.
Harry Douglas here to tell you about Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy. It tastes just like the best birthday cake ever. Vanilla, buttery, frosting vibes. It's basically a party in a bottle. Confetti Craze makes it easy to turn any day into a party with its delicious birthday cake flavor and big birthday energy. And here's the best part. All cake, no sugar. I bring these tiny bottles everywhere to cakeify my day with tasty caffeine boosts. The Funfetti flavor is back on 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Crack open a Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy shot today.
When you tell someone what team you cheer for, do they apologize? Does your first childhood memory involve crying on a Jumbotron? Then you may be a fan of a BST or bad sports team. Luckily, when you bundle your home and auto insurance with Progressive, you're protected from things like fire damage caused by violently unplugging the TV. Or an accidental overhand left to the drywall. Visit Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Covered subject to policy terms. Not available in all states or situations.
Join DiPietro and Rothenberg Thursday, April 23rd for a special couch cast of Round 1 of the NFL Draft. Presented by Calandra's Bakery. The Jets and Giants have 3 picks in the top 16, and Rick and Dave will react live as the first round unfolds. Let's go! From the big decisions to the big-time drama. Catch it all in this YouTube-only exclusive, and it's all from Calandra's Bakery and your home for football talk. ESPN New York.
Hey, the Michael K. Show Reverse Remote coming up on April 23rd is presented by Floor & Decor. A full show takeover with everything you need to upgrade your home while we break down everything happening in New York sports. And if you're in Brooklyn, stop by Floor & Decor's flagship store at 850 3rd Avenue, because while we're on the air, there's plenty happening in store. The Michael K. Show Reverse Remote presented by Floor & Decor. Let's go back to the calls, 1-800-919-3776. Justin in New Jersey. Justin?
Hi, Michael. Thank you for taking my call.
You got it. Thanks for making it.
Of course. I just wanted to talk about and maybe ask you about what the Yankees plan on doing with Ben Rice when they play against left-handed starters. I think right now currently Ben Rice is probably their best hitter, and his advanced stats are actually better than last year to start the season. So my question is, when they play against the lefty, do you think they would play Rice at first, or do you think they would potentially play Stanton in the outfield and sit Grisham and put Judge in center? Or would Ben Rice ever catch in those scenarios?
Well, I think he's going to play first base against some lefties. They faced one left-handed starter, Justin, so far. And they played Goldschmidt at that time. And the reason was they knew that they were not facing a left-handed starter for most of the first 2 weeks. So they didn't want Goldschmidt to get stale. So that's why they started him. Ben Rice is the everyday first baseman. Now, if you want to use Goldschmidt at first against a tough lefty and Austin Wells continues to struggle defensively, then you'll catch Ben Rice. But I think the last thing they do is move Stanton to the outfield. Stanton to the outfield is break glass in case of an emergency. It's not something that you do just to make room for Paul Goldschmidt to be in the lineup. That's not the way they use him. It's just not. So I think that only happens if, God forbid something happens with Judge like it did last year where he could hit but he couldn't throw. So he had to be the DH. And in order to keep Stanton's bat in the lineup, they put him into the outfield. And he did okay. He did okay. Andrew in Queens. Andrew.
How's it going, bud?
Hello?
Mike, you got me?
Yeah, got you now.
Hey, how's it going? Quickly, just a couple things before the main reason why I called. Number one, the fans that are chanting, F. Juan Soto, those are the same fans that, go outside Madison Square Garden after they win, game 2 of, the first round of the playoffs and celebrate. So they're nozzle fans. We don't consider them real Yankee fans. So it's a group of them, whatever. Number two, Giancarlo Stanton, I've always considered to be the consigliere to Aaron Judge, very much as Jorge Posada was to Derek Jeter, very much as Sil was to Tony. You got to have that guy you can kind of bounce off of, and I think that having Giancarlo there has proven to be a good influence on Aaron Judge's leadership in the Yankees clubhouse. So with that said, Aaron Judge, the past weekend, roll call, does the Brett Gardner, Gardner salute to roll call.
The muscle flex.
Exactly, yeah, which was Brett Gardner's signature move when he was called by the Bleacher Creatures. My question to you is this. I've always considered Brett Gardner very much like a Bobby Mercer type, and I know you were a big Bobby Mercer guy. Bobby was never honored in Monument Park, but do you think there will come a day when Brett Gardner, I know he has his issues with Brian Cashman, which, again, who didn't? Derek Jeter did, Bernie Williams did. But do you think there's a point in time when Brett Gardner, I know he has the family stuff, where he'll be welcomed back and maybe he will get not a number retirement, but a plaque? Because clearly, again, his leadership, the early 2000s or the 2010 teams, when they were a little lean, it really was, Brett Gardner who kind of stepped up and was that guy leading the Yankees, along with Jeter there, obviously. But he seemed to be the grit of the players. So I'm just curious your take on Gardner eventually coming back.
Well, Andrew, he is definitely welcome back. That they've invited him back each of the last couple of Old Timers Day, and he just doesn't want to come. Now, with what happened, which I mean, most of us listening right now we can't even wrap our minds around what he and his family are going through, losing his son in a carbon monoxide accident at a vacation resort. So I think coming back to the Yankees is the last thing on his mind. But before that terrible thing happened, he was angry because of the way it ended. You know, the Yankees didn't pick up an option. He was offered a contract from Toronto. He turned it down because he just wanted to be the Yankees, and they couldn't work something out, and he has never, ever come back for anything. They've asked him to throw out the first pitch. They've asked him to come back for Old Timers Day. He just won't do it. So, and now with, you know, the situation with his son passing away, I'm sure baseball's the last thing on his mind. So I know how much Brett Gardner meant to Judge. You know, when Judge first got called up, Gardner let him stay in his house in a vacant room. And Judge became very close with Gardner's family and the kids and all that. So Judge would love to have him back. The Yankees would love to have him back. But I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. Let's go to Kevin in Brooklyn. Kevin.
How's it going, Michael?
Good, Kev. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. You're doing an absolute great job on TV, by the way.
Thanks, man.
So I just wanted to discuss on Aaron Boone. I see on social media that he's getting criticized a lot for the decision that he made game 2.
Mm-hmm.
Game 1 versus the Marlins, being that Bednar wasn't in the game, but he pitched 30 plus pitches probably between the San Fran series, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like people are complaining that our bullpen is garbage now, but I feel like it's too early in the season to even determine something like that. If our record was 2-7, I would understand, but we're 7-2, and there's much more baseball to keep going.
Well, let's put it this way, Kev. You know, I've tried to understand where some criticisms come from. And the best that I could come up with, Kevin, is that fans look at every single game as a must-win, and they don't look about the long-term ramifications of making decisions. So the final game in Seattle, Bednar threw 40 pitches. And despite there being an off day after that, they were not using him in the first game. They weren't. This is a marathon. They don't want to pull a muscle in mile 3 out of 26 and 0.2. They just don't. Look at yesterday. You'd love to use Bednar, right? But not after he threw 35 pitches the night before. So there were guys that just weren't available last night. And Joe Girardi and David Cohn spoke about it on the air. You know, you want to win the game, but you don't want to lose your closer either. It's funny that people want to criticize how Boone managed the first game of the series. They won. So it's hard to criticize when you won. So he figured out a way to win it. Then he brings him in on Saturday. And because of Jazz Chisholm's brain lock that turned into an infield single, he's forced to throw a lot of pitches again. You can't have your closer, when he comes in, throw 35 to 40 pitches. You can't, because then he is unavailable the next day. So Jazz Chisholm, that play to start off the 9th inning on Saturday, might have cost the Yankees the opportunity to win yesterday's game because they could not use Bednar yesterday. So they had to manage around the fact who's going to close this out because it's not going to be Bednar. So, again, I get why fans are critical because they want to win that game. Damn everything else. That's not how a manager and coaches think. They got to think about the upcoming athletic series. They got to think about this upcoming weekend against Tampa Bay. They've got to think about how to use players where they don't overuse them, and that makes them unavailable for future games. That's how they think. It's different than fans. They still want to win the game, but they're trying to win the game in a way that doesn't impact upcoming games. But I've come to grips with it. I really have. I'm not going to argue on Twitter about it anymore. I'm just not. Here's the deal. Fans are going to be fans. They're going to be upset. We just write it down in the book. They don't like Boone. They don't like Cashman. Can't argue with them because you're not going to convince them. So listen, enjoy the game, consume the game, whichever way makes you happy. Whatever way makes you happy. I'm not going to fight it anymore. I'm not going to try to defend anybody except on this show, but not on social media. It's just not worth it. Not worth it. Because I have come to the final realization you can't convince them. They don't like Boone, and even if Boone won a championship, they wouldn't like Boone, and they don't like Cashman. So any move that Boone makes in a game that they lost, it's Boone's fault. That's it. I'm cool with it. I'll talk about it on this show, but the days of me trying to engage you on X about it, not worth it. Not worth it because I can't convince you. I could give you the most compelling argument of all time, and I can't convince you of it. In fact, there was a move at the end of the game yesterday that a lot of people question. And I knew exactly why Boone made that move. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Hey, the NFL Draft is coming up on Thursday, April 23rd, and New York is on the clock. The Jets pick 2nd and 16th. The Giants pick 5th. And Rick DiPietro and Dave Rothenberg are breaking it all down live. Join ESPN New York's Couchcast, your second screen for the NFL Draft. Real-time reactions, instant takes, and everything New York fans care about. Watch along, react with us, and don't miss a single moment. ESPN New York's Couchcast on Draft Night, April 23rd. That's at 8 p.m. It's presented by our good friends at Calandra's Bakery.
Hey fans, come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday, April 17th when the Yankees host the Royals, and be ready to receive a Yankees promotional giveaway that has become a fan favorite. It's Yankees Hockey Jersey Night, presented by StubHub. The first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankees hockey jersey. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. Again, don't miss the Yankees and Royals for Yankees Hockey Jersey Night, presented by StubHub on Friday, April 17th. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today.
Wow, that's a lot of distractions. Why don't you just focus on the road?
Relax, I'm a great driver.
What about other drivers? Not everyone's a great driver.
I can watch out for them. I'll be fine.
Watch out! In 2023, more than 3,200 people died due to distracted drivers. Keep your eyes on the road. This message brought to you by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Discover where your future can take you at SUNY Canton's Spring Open House on Saturday, April 25th. Explore exciting new programs like data science and analytics and cybersecurity, designed to prepare you for today's most in-demand careers. Tour campus, meet faculty, connect with current students, and sit down with financial aid representatives. Plus, attendees can enter for a chance to win a scholarship. For registration details and information about courtesy bus trips from New York, email admissions@canton.edu. SUNY Canton, your future starts here.
More people trust their hearts to New York Presbyterian than any other hospital in New York. It's because New York Presbyterian has the most experienced cardiovascular doctors, treating a full range of heart conditions, from heart failure to valve repair, with the most advanced treatments. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital, based on U.S. News & World Report 2025 to 2026 cardiology, heart, and vascular surgery rankings.
ESPN New York, now streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe today and watch the show. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief, now being made available designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. For free information and to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, simply go online and visit DRA.com or call 800-433-8909. 800-433-8909. Again, that's 800-433-8909.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Now, before we get into the move that I thought a lot of callers were going to question, I want to thank the good people at Calandra's Bakery. They have been such great partners of this radio station. They are always there for us all the time. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg did a great remote from their place in Jersey. Well, today, because they knew that I'd be in studio, they brought a feast for everybody to enjoy. They brought chicken parmesan. They brought chicken fingers, different dipping sauces, cupcakes, this unbelievable cake. Can't thank them enough. They are top flight people, and their food is great as well. So thank you to Calandra's Bakery. Really can't thank you enough. All right. Last night, the Yankees lost, and they rallied in the bottom of the ninth inning against Anthony Bender because they didn't have their closer. It was a strange decision by the Marlins. The Marlins had Pete Fairbanks, their closer, as the opener in the game. And the reason they did that was his wife was going to have labor induced today in Tampa. And he wanted to be there, so he was going to leave on paternity leave. So the Marlins said, well, pitch the first inning rather than hanging around for the ninth inning, which I don't get. Because I'll be honest with you, the game ended, at 8? 8:15? There's still flights out to Tampa at that point, and you could get a private jet too. And then you're actually pitching the inning that they're paying you to pitch. Now, I think the most important thing is he gets back there for his family. But it wasn't like she had gone into labor. They were inducing labor today. So instead they had him as an opener, and he ended up giving a 3-run home run to Ben Rice, 410 feet into the second deck. Just a bullet. Then they added Nardi pitched the second inning, and then they ended up using the guy that was going to be the starter. They had him as a bulk guy. So they didn't have their closer at the end of the game. They brought in Anthony Bender. And Jazz Chisholm got a big hit, a double, a drive, and 2 runs. That made it 9-8. So Jazz is at second with 2 outs. Austin Wells is up, and they decide to intentionally walk Wells. The next guy up, and Bender, by the way, is a right-hander. Next guy up is Jose Caballero. They only have one left-hander on the bench at this point. It's J.C. Escarra, who was 0 for 5 coming into that at-bat in the young season. So they bring up Escarra because right-handers against Bender are much more diminished in terms of their production than left-handed batters. So even my son, when I was driving home, why didn't they use Goldschmidt there? Isn't Goldschmidt a better hitter than Escarra? Overall, yes, I told them. But Goldschmidt's numbers against left-handed pitching, over 300. Against right-handed pitching, much lower. And Bender's numbers against right-handed batters, much better than they are against left-handed batters. Now, the Yankees are out of challenges, and there was a bad strike 2 call on Escarra that was clearly high. If they had a challenge, you would have challenged that, and instead of 0-2, it would have been 1-1. Might have changed the whole at-bat. Then he ends up striking him out on the third pitch, end of the game, and people say, why not use Goldschmidt there? Because that's not the guy to use there. If you want to go with experience, and the guy that's going to the Hall of Fame, although he's 38 years old, I guess you go with Goldschmidt. If you want to go by the analytics tell you Escarra, who is a pretty good hitter, that's a better choice than Goldschmidt was. And they went with Escara, and he struck out, and they ended up losing the game 9-8. So they don't sweep the series, and they're 7-2. All right, this just came across. Find it fascinating, really. And Adam Schefter broke it, which is strange because it's not a football story. But he writes that North Carolina intends to hire longtime NBA coach Michael Malone as the school's next basketball coach, according to ESPN's Pete Thamel. Now, he won a championship in the NBA. So North Carolina is going the recycled professional coach route. And it didn't work out very well with Bill Belichick, did it? On the football side. Now they're going with Michael Malone. That's pretty wild, right? That is pretty wild. And it's a little bit of a gamble. And it does show you that as great a job as North Carolina is, they could not get the Arizona coach to commit. They couldn't get Billy Donovan to commit because they wanted Billy Donovan, who won 2 championships with Florida and has been languishing with the Bulls. I guess he didn't want to come either, so they go with Michael Malone. They go with Michael Malone. Hey, Met fans, this is some news for you. Tomorrow and Wednesday's game, coming up slow on my phone, they've moved the time of those games. Tomorrow and Wednesday's games against the Diamondbacks have been moved to 4:10 p.m. due to expected cold weather and windy conditions. For fans who have already purchased tickets for Tuesday or Wednesday, the Mets will honor tickets and provide an additional voucher for a future game. So I guess cold weather expected tomorrow night. It's going to be interesting to see what the Yankees do because this is one of those rare series where the Yankees and the Mets are both home. And the Yankees have night games against the Athletics Tuesday and Wednesday. And the Mets had night games against the Diamondbacks Tuesday and Wednesday. And the Mets turned it to 4:10. So they're assuming that with the sun out, it's going to be a little bit warmer for the fans and for the players. And as of this point, the Yankees seem like they're locked in to the 7 o'clock start, despite the impending cold weather. Hey, by the way, before we get to your phone calls, 1-800-919-3776, please subscribe to ESPN New York. Wow, the glass on my eyeglass just popped out. I hope they have a slow motion on the YouTube channel because that's what I'm telling you about. I'll try to read it without my glasses. Subscribe to ESPN New York on YouTube. Stream the full Weekday Lineup live. Watch complete replays or catch up fast and with can't-miss highlights. Jump into the live chat, react in real time, and make your voice part of the show. Subscribe to ESPN New York on YouTube right now. Right now, do it, and stay locked in so you never miss a moment. All right, all the business out of the way. Now I get to you. Let's go to Joe in New Jersey. Joe.
Hey, Michael.
Hello, Joe. How you doing?
Good, buddy. Happy Easter to you. God bless you and your family.
Thank you. Same to you.
What was I going to tell you? So you just hit a key point, buddy, of because tomorrow I'm supposed to go to Yankee Stadium tomorrow for against the A's, which I hope they win, right? Even though it might look like a cheap win because it's a terrible team, but
it counts.
The question I wanted to ask you, but what I wanted to ask you is, you just mentioned it about the times, right? Because tomorrow I think it's going to be 29 degrees at 8 or 9 o'clock, and of course that can be a factor for the baseball team and of course for the fans. That's what I wanted to ask you about that. If you think they're going to move it, or they're going to just keep it still, or they're going to do something last minute. And the second question I wanted to ask you is that during your time as a commentator, have you ever had a food item called bacon on a stick? Has that ever amused you, or not really?
I've had bacon on a stick in restaurants. I don't think I've ever had it in a ballpark. Why do you ask?
Okay. No, because I'm so crazy about these things. I might end up. Normally, a fan gets like 1 or 2. I might go crazy and buy like 7 of them. But I got to be careful with the fat. There's a lot of fat on them.
Yeah, bacon it tastes great, but it's not the best thing for your body. So listen, all I can tell you is that the Yankees haven't announced anything at this point, and they have not really in the 40 years that I've been involved with Yankee baseball. I can't recall them moving all that many games because of cold weather. As long as it's not precipitation or something like that. But the Mets did. The Mets have moved it. I just told you Tuesday and Wednesday they're moving it to 4:10. And so it's supposed to be extraordinarily cold tomorrow and Wednesday. We'll see. As of this point, I think the Yankees would have announced it by now, and they have not. So we'll keep you up to date if it happens. But if I had a bet, I think it stays at 7 o'clock. I think. We shall see. Let's go to Mike in Plattsburgh. Mike.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? Thanks
Good.
for taking the call.
You got it, man.
You're just a legend. You're a legend, man. So I just gotta let you know that.
Oh, stop. But thank you.
Oh, you are. What about Max Fried yesterday? Do you think that 3.5 hour delay? Because he was a warrior, 103 pitches. Do you think that had anything to do with him, not performing well?
Well,
what do you think about that?
He didn't have great stuff, Mike. You know what? He didn't have his best stuff. So it was kind of like the first game against San Francisco, but he's so good and so savvy on the mound that he's still able to get out. So while we were sitting there for 3 hours and 25 minutes before the game started, I asked David Cohn, would this affect the pitcher? And he said, no, because it's not like it happened last moment. You know, they knew that this game was going to start late for a while. You know, when Aaron Boone met with the media, you know, he said, we're going to be here a long time. So as long as the pitcher knew leading up to the game that it wasn't going to be a 135 start, he could probably prepare himself, but he didn't have great stuff yesterday and still made it work. You know, threw 103 pitches, went 6 1/3 innings, and, 6 2/3 innings. So to get those 2 outs in the 7th inning when you know that your bullpen is completely shot, that's big league. That's why he's an ace. And that you can dream on the Yankee rotation. You could dream on it. Because when they get back Cole and they get back Rodon, so it's going to be Cole as your ace, Fried is your number 2, Schlittler probably is your number 3, Rodon is your number 4, and then any of the other pitchers that are currently pitching for them as your number 5. That's an outstanding rotation. When Max Fried is your number 2 and Cam Schlittler is your number 3, and Rodon won 19 games last year, he's your number 4. That's an outstanding rotation. Now, I was reading a couple of places over the weekend where people are saying this could be one of the greatest Yankee rotations ever. And I go, let's pump the brakes a little bit. I think it's a great rotation, might be one of the best rotations in baseball now. But to say ever in Yankee history, that's a lot. That's bordering on being hyperbolic. Just saying. 1-800-919-3776. That's the number. Let's go back to the calls. Let's go to Steven in the car. Steven.
Hey, Michael. What's going on? How are you?
What's going on, Steven?
Doing good. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. I hope I could get it all in.
Go for it.
Let's get the easy one out of the way first, or the shorter one out of the way first. Do you think if the Yankees win a championship that Giancarlo Stanton's number 27 will be retired? And the second question is really a longer question. Basically, I'm just pissed off about, and I don't know, I want to get your take on it because I know what the argument is about the analytics. I'm talking about taking the starting pitchers out of the game. Like when they get to 100 pitches, it's like, oh my gosh, he has 100 pitches. And I'm just like, the guy's pitching well. Like what Max Fried did yesterday. I'm honestly pissed off they didn't go for him another out. Now I know it's 105 pitches, but like, I'll take you back to 7 years ago in the 2019 ALCS when Masahiro Tanaka was pitching in Game 1 in Houston over there. He had faced the minimum through 6 innings, and he had only 68 pitches. And I'm like, back then, 7 years ago, I'm like, let the guy pitch. He's doing great. Because in the Houston Astros series, then, like, if you expose your bullpen now, and the bullpen obviously didn't give up any runs. They won the game 7-0, if you recall. But you're going to face the bullpen. The Astros are going to face their bullpen a ton. Like, why not go with a guy who, like, all it takes is one guy in the bullpen not to have his stuff. Could have a great bullpen, but all it takes is one guy to have an off night, and then boom, that could be the game. So why not go with the status quo? The guy's pitching well, and like let's say with Cam, I know Cam Schlittler was injured, but like 77 pitches, or like Max Fried on opening day or opening night, whatever. He had like 80 pitches maybe, and the 86 pitches. Like I want to see these guys going into the game longer. What's your take? How do you feel? Have a great day.
Well, I mean, Steven, that's the game today. We might not like it. You know, we might look back and, look at Nolan Ryan throwing 165 pitches. It's not the game today. They're not going to do that. They're not going to risk a player's health. So the first game out of spring training, Max Fried throws 86 pitches and you want him to throw more? I mean, look at what happened with Schlittler. In Seattle. He was coasting. They took him out after 79 pitches. They're not going to risk the long-term health of a pitcher. I mean, Max Fried threw 103 pitches yesterday. How many more do you want him to throw? You can't hearken back to the days of Nolan Ryan or Walter Johnson or Lefty Gomez. You just can't. They don't exist anymore. They have a lot of money invested in pitchers, and they're not going to push them and overuse them. They're just not. Now, you might think it's ridiculous, and a lot of people might agree with you, but I think you're kind of barking into the dark. We're not going back to those times. They treat these pitchers with kid gloves, and they think that's the best way to keep them healthy. I'm surprised that, could they have pushed Fried to one more batter, and then you only have to get 6 out of the bullpen? I guess they could have. But long-term Fried is more important than that game yesterday. And fans don't want to hear it because every game is Armageddon. I get it. I got it. But the bottom line is every game is not Armageddon. The 162-game slate and getting into the playoffs, that's Armageddon. And your best chance to get to what you want is to keep your pitchers healthy. I mean, you don't think the way he's pitching now that, just in his bullpens that he's thrown, that Garrett Cole could start a game and give the Yankees 4 innings? Of course he could. But they're thinking long term. They're going to sign for this year and 3 more. They don't need him blowing out his elbow again. So, no, I would disagree. You just don't go there. It's not worth it. It's a different time and place, everybody. It just is. You might long for the old days, but the old days, they ain't coming back. Richard in Manhattan. Richard.
Hi, Michael.
Hello.
In Aaron Boone's tenure here, have you ever seen Aaron Boone use a closer, 40 pitches and then 33 pitches, 1 inning each in consecutive games? Even in the playoffs or World Series, have you ever seen that?
It wasn't in consecutive games. It was Wednesday and Saturday.
Well, yeah, I meant, consecutive appearances.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, that's not what he wants to do, but that's what it took Bednar
He
to
did,
get
okay. All right, gotcha. A good idea by the Mets. I think April baseball at night. Now, Michael, you remember 43 years ago, we had 2 feet of snow early April, and they canceled the Northeast baseball schedule, if you remember. 2 feet of snow. April weather is still cold. I think every ticket in April, night game, should be sold with the caveat time change may be in effect. We'll see, because, what was ridiculous about Saturday? They knew the NCAA tournament was at night. That was a perfect excuse to play that game Saturday at 3 or 4 o'clock and give the fans a chance. I understand baseball at night and money and the television.
No. They only play Saturday day games. The reason they played at night, Richard, was because of the fact they had a West Coast flight, so Thursday was an off day, right? Thursday was off. Then they played the opener on Friday afternoon. The Yankees are one of the few teams left in baseball. All their home games at Yankee Stadium on Saturday are in the afternoon. But they had it at night because you have to have either a day off or a spot where you can absorb the opening day being postponed on Friday. Then you make a day-night doubleheader on Saturday. And the 48,000 people had tickets opening day. Well, they then would come on Saturday afternoon. And the people who had tickets to game 2 of the home season, they were scheduled for 7 o'clock start anyway. That's why they added then. They always play Saturday day games. Has nothing to do with TV. They feel that their fan base likes afternoon games on Saturdays. They do. The Mets play Saturday night games. The Yankees do not. The Yankees play Saturday 1:05 all the time. The only reason it changed was because you had to have somewhere to absorb the home opener fans. Because when you buy home opener tickets, you want to see the first game of the home season. So if they had the 1:05 start scheduled for Saturday, then they had to reschedule the home opener. Then all of a sudden, the 48,000 people that might have paid premium prices to get the home opener, they'd be getting the second game, which would be a night game on Saturday. That's why Saturday was a night game. Let's go to Robbie in Massachusetts. Robbie.
Hey, Michael, thanks so much for taking my call. I really appreciate it. I really enjoy you and David, and especially O'Neill. I can't wait till Paul comes back. So thanks so much. I wondered a couple of things you addressed. First of all, a J.C. Escara thing with Paul Goldschmidt. I still would have batted Goldie. The other night, he proves that he can hit a right-handed. pitcher, when he hits the ball into the for a 3-run home run. I still would have gone with a guy that's a proven hitter rather than J.C. Escara, a backup catcher. So I didn't understand that. But I understand what you're saying about long-term things like keeping free and keeping guys healthy. But I honestly think that with Cole, if he comes back healthy, with Freedom, with Schlitter, they have a chance to be a great staff. And I think this is what's going to carry them. And I want to ask you, too, about roster construction. This is something that's been talked about all the time about Brian Cashman. Things I've criticized him on in the past. I certainly like the development of Ben Rice. But my question is, do you feel that this team hasn't had enough table setters in front of Judge? And I'm really tired of people criticizing Aaron Judge. I just wanted to make that comment, too, because Aaron Judge is a great player. Aaron Judge puts up big-time numbers. Aaron Judge, you were mentioning this the other day on your show about Aaron Judge's numbers after the 8th inning and so forth. And there's so much pressure. Tell me who's the great, who's Aaron Judge is surrounded by? I mean, Derek Jeter was surrounded by great players. Who's Judge really surrounded by in terms of the supporting cast? And that's why I really think people should get off Aaron Judge's case. You know what I'm saying? Oh, if he doesn't win a championship. And by the way, what you said about Stanton before is true. The guy is limited, but he's a true professional. I will give him that credit. All the times we booed him, remember all the times when he first started and all the boos he got? The way he handled that, Michael, was so professional. And I have a great respect for John Carlin. But I will say this. When looking back on if they don't win the championship, I will agree with you. That was a bad move. And that's sometimes what I criticize Brian Cashman on is the way he constructs the lineup. Too many guys that are big swingers and strikeout guys. And I'll get your thoughts on that. But thanks so much for taking the call.
Well, but it's hard to criticize that, Robbie. They led the majors in runs scored. How are we criticizing the lineup? And Judge has had historic seasons. How are we criticizing the people that have been around him? In 2024, he had Juan Soto hitting in front of him. He has a future Hall of Famer in Stanton hitting behind him. He has Rice, who many people think might be an all-star this year, hitting behind him. How do you criticize? I mean, you're allowed to criticize whatever you want. But how do you criticize the lineup construction when they led the majors in runs scored and they led the majors in home runs? I don't get that thinking. What more do you want? I've heard a lot, too. Well, the bottom of their order is not good. Well, I think it was 8th in terms of OPS plus last year. That's not bad. That's pretty darn good. It's in the upper third of the sport. Right now, it's been terrible, and I opened the show with that. But, I mean, to sit here and go, I don't like the way he's built the lineup. Well, what more do you want them to do? How many more runs are they supposed to score before you're satisfied? They led the majors in runs. And to go crazy over their offense early, it's 9 games in, they're 7-2. Everybody else in the East has been terrible. The Red Sox are off to an awful start. And everybody, that was the chic pick to win the East. The Blue Jays are banged up. Now they just lost Kirk to a broken thumb. They've lost 4/5 of their projected starting rotation. Let's not panic, people. The Yankee lineup is fine. The protection around Judge is fine. 1-800-919-3776. We have cleared the line, so it's time for the co-host to take over. 1-800-919-3776. Call in. Whatever you want to talk about. We'll talk about the Knicks game tonight against the Hawks and how important that is. That's coming up right here on ESPN New York.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets. So go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Monkey Sports, built by players for players, is your one-stop shop for hockey, baseball, lacrosse, and more. Find top-name equipment and expert in-store services like sharpening, break-ins, and relacing. Shop in-store at Monkey Sports in Farmingdale or Woodbridge, or online for all the top brands. Whatever your sports, Monkey Sports gets you game ready fast. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
Chris Carlin with you. Glad to be joined right now by Taylor Canfield. He is the U.S. Sail GP team driver, and we are all getting ready for the Mubadala, New York Sail Grand Prix coming up at the end of May. Taylor, how we doing?
Yeah, we're excited for the home event in New York, and can't wait to be there and racing in front of all the fans.
Now, what is your role as driver of the U.S. Sail GP team?
So, as a driver, you kind of have two different roles. One is trying to help make sure that the boat is going, as fast as you can around the racetrack. And then in addition to that, it's kind of the decision maker on board, and using the information that I'm getting from the whole team and the coach booth to kind of make those split-second decisions around the racetrack.
It sounds like an awesome atmosphere. What's the energy going to be like sailing right at New York City?
There's no better feeling racing in front of the home crowd, representing our country, and hearing their cheering through our headsets that we have on board is, it gives me the chills just thinking about it. So we're pumped.
We're looking forward to the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix coming at the end of May. Taylor, thanks.
The New York City Department of Correction offers countless career opportunities, from specialized units to leadership roles that support public safety and change lives for the better. It starts with one step: registering for the New York City Correction Officer exam. Earn over $109,000 after just 5.5 years. Benefits on day one, job security, pension at any age after 22 years of service. Go to nyc.gov/joinDOC or search Join DOC. One career, many opportunities. Register today to take the test.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Rings End is your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. They're your store for quality with a full line of brilliant and durable Benjamin Moore paints. They're your store for inspiration with thousands of colors and a variety of sheens. And Rings End is your store for expertise with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. Insist on Benjamin Moore paint from Rings End, because the gorgeous color you love can't be matched in another brand of paint.
If you run a home service business, you're probably wondering if your current software is ready to handle that next phase of growth. You're working hard to bring in more revenue, stay on top of marketing, payroll, projects, and more, all while keeping your customers happy. But your software isn't cutting it. If that's the case, it's time to upgrade to Service Titan, the all-in-one solution that scales with you. Find out how the most successful home service contractors are growing today. Visit ServiceTitan.com to learn more. That's ServiceTitan.com.
Evan Cohen here. In life, as in sports, the pros make it look easy. That's why pro golfers like Jason Day, Ben Griffin, and Patton Kazire trust the pros in lawn care. True Green. They have the experience and expertise to give you a lawn worthy of the PGA Tour. And since True Green does the work for you, you get more free time, or more tee times. So stop stressing over your lawn and start loving it. Sign up now at TrueGreen.com, because nobody makes it easier to get a golf course quality lawn than True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
ESPN New York and Floor & Decor are giving you the chance to design your day with me, Michael K. One lucky fan and a guest will win a studio visit, exclusive meet and greet with me. This is your all-access pass and experience that you won't forget. To enter, head to the Floor & Decor flagship store at 850 3rd Avenue in Brooklyn. Design your day with me, Michael K., presented by Floor & Decor. All right, so the Knicks are playing the Hawks tonight, and it's a big game. You might say, oh, the Hawks, it's a big game. Yeah, it's a big game, because the Hawks are the type of the team that give the Knicks some problem. First of all, they're over 500, and the Knicks have a losing streak, I believe, of 5 straight against teams over 500. They've done what they have to do against bad teams. So I'm not taking those wins away. Those wins are on the schedule. Those games are on the schedule, and the Knicks have to win them, and they did. But they also have to show that they can beat good teams. because that's who you're going to face in the postseason. You just are. And the Hawks have been red hot of late, and let's see how the Knicks do. I want to see how they do. How do they incorporate Brunson and Cat? How do they make it both work? How? I will be DVRing this game. I'm being honest because I'm going to watch UConn and Michigan for the national championship, and I'll go back and forth. But I want to watch the game in its entirety after the national championship game, so I could watch the beginning of the Knicks game before the national championship game comes on anyway. But this is one I keep a close eye on because the rest of the way for the Knicks, they're playing teams that will not be layovers or layoffs or pushovers, something like that. I'll get the word right. And by the way, speaking of pushovers, how about the Nets and the Wizards? Neither team wanted to win because they wanted to have the best positioning for the lottery. Now, I know they say they're going to change the lottery system. Think about what a joke the NBA has become. That you looked at that game and you go, how is either team going to win? Because neither team wants to win. Now, the players on the court, of course, they want to win. They want to put stuff on tape. They don't want to be embarrassed. But the organization, they don't want to win. You look at the people that the Wizards played yesterday, who they put on the floor. This is what the NBA has become. 1/3 of the league wants to lose every game they play. That's not competition. That's laughable. It's an embarrassment is what it is. It's an absolute embarrassment. And by the way, the Nets won. They made a late run. Boy, woo, how great. So they will not have the top spot in the lottery. But that's what the sport has become. And that's why there need to be drastic changes. Drastic changes. Not some tweaks. You cannot have this stand for a professional sport. They charged full price yesterday for that game. And neither team wanted to win. By design. And the Knicks, when they won all these games of late to get to 50 wins, they were playing teams that didn't want to win. And they keep losing against teams that want to win. What a black mark on the sport. It's incredible to me. I can't even wrap my mind around it. I'd never see it in baseball, ever, that a team's trying to lose. Some teams are just outmanned, and they can't win. And in football, in fairness to football, a team doesn't really tank until the end. Like if there's 3-4 games remaining and you're in position to get a really good draft pick, you might not send the best players out there. And you might want to lose. Now, only the Jets and the Giants win the worst games when it comes to tanking. They win the games that could get them great players if they lose. But I can't remember a football team that from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, they were designed to lose games. It doesn't happen in baseball. It doesn't happen, for the most part, in football to the end. Hockey, every single time somebody laces up those skates, they're trying to win. Every single time. Speaking of hockey, pretty bold move by Darche, the GM of the Islanders, firing Patrick Waugh with 4 games left, bringing Pete DeBoer and giving Pete DeBoer a 4-year contract. Because DeBoer was going to be one of those coaches that everybody's going to go after at the end of the season. The Islanders struck early, and now they're going to try to make it. I mean, they're 1 point back right now. It would be an epic collapse because before what were they? 3-7 over the last 10 games. They had a firm hold on a playoff spot, and they let it all go away. So Waugh is gone. That was Lou Lamoriello's hire, and now DeBoer comes in for these 4 games and hopefully a playoff run. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Jay in Queens. Jay.
Hi, good afternoon, Mike.
Hello, Jay.
I love listening to you on the way home.
Thank you.
Just a quick thing. No problem. Quick thing with the Knicks. You know, I coached basketball for a lot of years, and I just wondered, do you think that they have too much talent? And I say that because they have 5 legitimate starters that on any other team probably could give you 20 to 25 points.
Jay, let me hold you up for a second. I will take the rest of your phone call.
Sure.
I just want to tell you that the Mets have announced they put Juan Soto on the 10-day IL, retroactive to April 4th with a right calf strain. A typical return to play for this type of injury is approximately 2 to 3 weeks, and Ronnie Mauricio has been recalled from AAA. So I wanted to get that out there. Please continue, Jay. I apologize.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Thank you for the update. I just wonder, they didn't have a bench last year, and now I feel like they went out and they addressed that, and they got so much talent. I think the offense is trying to be so balanced that there is a clear-cut number 2. And I wonder if in this day and age with these particular teams, like, if that's going to work. We know Brunson's going to get his. He's a point guard. He always has the ball in his hands a lot, and he's proven to be, a clutch player. But we need something more. And I feel like Cat has the opportunity to do that, but he's not getting the ball. There shouldn't be games where he's shooting 6 shots and they win, and then there's some games he's taking 15, 30, 20 shots and they lose. Like, there just doesn't seem to be consistency, and I just wonder if their offense is just not built properly for with the pieces they have, and maybe would they be better if they have a little bit less and could focus in.
I don't know if it's a case of them having too much talent. I just don't think they run the right offense. I mean, they changed the offense that Thibodeau had because they felt it was too much of an isolation offense with Brunson. They wanted everybody to touch the ball. They wanted touches in the paint, and they have not run anything of substance for Karl Anthony Towns. So yeah, their bench is better, but that should not inhibit them from getting Towns the ball in places where he could do damage. And that's not in the paint. That's not his game. It has never been his game. His game is he's one of the best big men outside shooters you'll ever see. I think it's more schematic than anything else with the Knicks. And that's what worries me going into the postseason. There's 4 games left in the regular season. They still haven't figured out. That's amazing to me. It's absolutely amazing. Chris in Barnegat. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So actually, I got another Yankee point, but I want to talk about that Nets game. You know what's crazy? I saw a video, and it looked like a sold-out crowd for that Nets-Wizards game.
It's amazing. I think they've been selling out every single game, Chris. It's unbelievable. That's why they feel emboldened to lose.
It's crazy, and they charge that full. Exactly, they charge the full price, and they can get it. So it's honestly insane. I don't get it. I'm a Nets fan. I will not go to that. I don't even watch the games. I think I watched 1 game this year.
I know it's on Yes, and I'd love you to watch, but I don't blame you. It's not entertaining basketball. They're not great players.
No, it's not. It's not. So my Yankee point. I wanted to talk about the pinch hit of J.C. Escarra yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand it was a righty pitcher going up against, I believe it was Caballero coming up, but making that change, it's just to go righty lefty. I think that's so insane, especially when you have. I know Paul Goldschmidt, he's not a good hitter against righties, but I mean J.C. Escarra going up as the pinch hitter, it just makes no sense to me. I just didn't really quite understand that move by Boone there.
Well, I mean, Chris, batting Caballero was never an option. He's looked awful. I think he was 3 for 30 coming into that at bat, so he was not going to bat. So it was going to be a pinch hitter. The only lefty they had on the bench was Escarra. Now, I know Escarra doesn't play much, and he was 0 for 5 coming into that at bat, but the Yankees really like his bat. They really think that he could be a very, very good hitter. Boone said the other day that if he played every day, he could be the starting catcher on maybe half the teams in the majors. That's how much they think of J.C. Escarra. And they're playing the odds there. Because, as the previous caller said, Goldschmidt did hit a 3-run home run in Seattle against a righty. It's not like he can't hit righties, but his numbers do drop precipitously against righties. Against lefties, over 300 hitter. Against righties, about 230, 240. So they played the numbers. Let's go with the left-hander. This is a breaking ball guy. Bender throws breaking ball after breaking ball after breaking ball, and they did not want Paul Goldschmidt to do that. Now, I understand all the fans thinking, don't you want a professional guy who's going to go to the Hall of Fame and take your chances with him just getting a single, because it was Jazz Chisholm at second. But they decided to go with the lefty bat, who they like a lot. And I know he hasn't shown much to you guys. So I'm not going to say that you're 1,000% wrong. He hasn't shown much to you guys. But to the Yankees, they love what he brings to the plate. But once he had that bad call on strike 2, it should have made the count 1-1. and they didn't have any challenges, he was cooked. And he ended up swinging through a third pitch. And by the way, the Yankees were great on their road trip, challenging pitches. Great. What's the opposite of great? That's what they were in this 3-game set against the Marlins. I mean, they got everyone wrong, it seemed like. Every single one. Ben Rice challenged one that was awful, didn't challenge one that he would have won. Even the catcher's challenge, Austin Wells, failed on 2 challenges. They got to be better. I know you don't save a challenge for the end, but isn't it frustrating to watch J.C. Escarra up there on a pitch that could be challenged and would have been overturned and made the count 1-1 instead of 0-2 and not have the challenge, and you wasted them on some pitches that weren't even close. So it's weird. They were so good on the road about it, and they were so bad in the series against the Marlins, and the Marlins were so great. I think the Marlins were, before they lost 2 challenges in the 9th inning, I think they were 10 for 11. I think those 2 challenges by Hicks in the 9th inning were, well, I've got them left anyway. Let's take a chance. Maybe it'll be overturned. Hey, if it feels like everyone's sick right now, you aren't imagining it. Doctors say this is the worst cold and flu season in 25 years, and it's not over. I just got back from San Francisco and Seattle, and it was like everyone around me was coughing, sneezing, and sick in some way or another. I don't want to get sick. I can't afford to get sick, and I doubt you can either. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. Having a medical emergency kit is like having an urgent care and pharmacy right in your home. It includes essential prescriptions like generic Z-Pak to help you get well faster, plus important antibiotics to treat pneumonia, strep throat, sinus and ear infections, nausea, even UTIs, and many more common and serious illnesses. It's in your kit the moment you need it. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no lines at the pharmacy, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook. And, this is important, you can call their telemedicine doctor standing by, and he or she will point you in the right direction. Start on your meds and feel better faster. It's genius. It's a game changer. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. So order yours online in minutes, and it's shipped to your door. I can save you $45 when you use my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. Again, save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Ox Spine at New York Presbyterian is always in pursuit of a better way to heal the spine. We're getting more people moving again with minimally invasive, non-surgical, and surgical treatments with innovative solutions for every back and spine condition and your unique needs. Expert spine care is available now across New York City and Westchester. Find a doctor at nyp.org/oxspine. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your sports IQ to work on the games you know best. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. Buy or sell your predictions all game long. Trade every play with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Hey fans, on Sunday, April 19th, when the Yankees take on the Royals, take your family out to the ballpark for the chance to receive a very special kids giveaway. It's Hershey Park Kids Ticket Giveaway Day. The first 10,000 kids, 14 and younger in attendance, will receive a Hershey Park Kids ticket, courtesy of Hershey Park. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. That's the Yankees and Royals on Hershey Park Kids Ticket Giveaway Day, Sunday, April 19th. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today.
Attention, New York Verizon mobile customers. Score a massive win with award-winning Fios home internet for an incredible $20 a month, guaranteed for 3 years. Switch today for savings you can count on. Call 1-800-VERIZON now. For new Fios customers with autopay, mobile and home, and bonus discount. Enrollment required. 3-year price guarantee applies to the Fios base monthly rate only. Additional terms apply.
If you manage an active facility, you don't have time for disruption. Tricon Construction specializes in working inside healthcare, commercial, and industrial buildings without shutting operations down. That means tight planning, clear communication, safe, disciplined execution, because when patients are inside, when tenants are working, when production can't stop, there's no margin for mistakes. When it has to be handled professionally and handled right, Tricon is the only choice. Visit TriconBuilds.com, TriconBuilds.com.
Wow, that's a lot of distractions. Why don't you just focus on the road?
Relax, I'm a great driver.
What about other drivers? Not everyone's a great driver.
I can watch out for them. I'll be fine.
Watch out! In 2023, more than 3,200 people died due to distracted drivers. Keep your eyes on the road. This message brought to you by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
It's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering up to 25% off windows and doors and 0% financing for 24 months. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2026.
Adam Schefter here. You know the feeling when a candidate just stands out? Not just their resume, but their energy. That makes a difference. If you're hiring, you want a candidate who's passionate, but you can't get that insight from a resume unless you post your job on ZipRecruiter. Their matching technology finds qualified candidates fast, and ZipRecruiter has a new feature that shows you the most interested qualified candidates first. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/sports. That's ZipRecruiter.com/sports.
NBA fans don't just watch the game, they live it. So stream like you're courtside with NBA League Pass, your ticket to all the action. Watch your favorite team shine and catch the league's brightest stars and rising stars at the same time with multi-view on your favorite devices. From the plays you can't believe to the most live games and the drama that comes with it. If it happens on the court, it's happening on NBA League Pass.
Only select out-of-market games available. Blackout restrictions apply. Additional charges and other conditions may apply. Visit NBA.com/subscriber agreement for full terms and conditions.
All right, so we told you in the previous segment, the Mets have put Juan Soto on the 10-day IL, and they said that this calf injury will take 2 to 3 weeks. I think it's a really smart move by the Mets. You don't mess with calves. They could become really tough injuries that last a long time, and then if you really blow it out, then you're talking about months. And I know Juan Soto. I know Juan Soto wants to play every single game. He loves playing baseball. This is the prudent decision by the Mets. Sit him down, make him get better, take the time to get better. Is it a blow to the Mets? Of course it is. But again, we talked earlier about long-term decisions, not short-term gratification. So even though Juan Soto probably wants to play, it's the smart move not to have him play. Now, speaking of Juan Soto, and we spoke about this earlier, I found out after the game that Yankee fans were chanting "Bleep Juan Soto." And for those that don't understand, I'm wearing headsets during the broadcast. I have people talking in my ear and some crowd noise. I never heard it in real time. I don't even know if I would address it on the TV. I mean, I don't do a talk show on the TV. You know when I do a talk show? Now. That's when I do a talk show. Yankee fans, it's an awful look. It's not something that should become a thing. It's an awful look. You look like babies. You look like jilted lovers that you're upset that Juan Soto left you for the Mets. There's nothing that would have led you, a right-minded fan, to chant that last night. Nothing. You make yourself look small. You make yourself look jealous. You make yourself look like you can't accept the fact that somebody left you. Juan Soto didn't do anything wrong. He went to the Mets, who had a better deal on the table. When you look at everything, when you just look at the numbers, it looks like it's a difference of like $5 million. It's not. Way more than that. And he made the decision he wanted to make. That doesn't mean that you make yourself look so small town where this becomes a thing like the bleep Altuve and now it becomes bleep Juan Soto. No, that's not good. That's a bad look for Yankee fans if this becomes a thing. Juan Soto does not deserve it, number one. Number two, you are giving ammunition to Met fans to say, see, we're in their head. They can't get over the fact they lost Juan Soto. What are you doing? Who are the people that did it? I believe what the caller said earlier. It wasn't everybody. If it was everybody, I probably would have heard it through my headset. But it was enough people that people said it came over to the television, and they heard it. Shame on all of you. It's disgraceful. Don't do that. You know how ridiculous it makes you look? What's the end game? To look jealous? To look small? All Juan Soto did in his 1 year with the Yankees was help them get to the World Series. That's all he did. And now you're going to bleep Juan Soto? And one other thing, if I may. It's become such a thing now to just blurt out the F word. Like for years with the bleep Jose Altuve, there were kids in the stands, and I know that kids hear everything, but why does it have to be like blasted into their ears? And I guess we've turned the corner in this country because yesterday the President of the United States, he tweeted out the F word on Easter Sunday. So I guess the milk is out of the udder. There's nothing we could do. But do we have to do it in a crowded ballpark where like a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old could hear it, and then they turn to mommy and daddy and go, what was that? That's beside the point, though. The main point is this. Don't do it. It doesn't make you look good. It makes you look small and ridiculous. Let's go to Abe in Staten Island. Abe.
Hey, I just wanted to ask, you hear me?
Yeah, I got you fine.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask, what do you think of the Yankees walking 30 times against the Marlins?
Well, walking's not a bad thing, Abe. The Marlins throw a lot of breaking balls. So sometimes breaking balls are not thrown for strikes. And the Yankees set a new team record with all the walks they had over this 3-game set. A new team record in the history of the franchise. I think it was 35 walks in the 3 games. What do I think of it? Anytime you can get on base, it's great, right? You move the line along and you give somebody a chance to hit a 3-run home run. I thought it was great. I thought it was also a reflection on the Marlins and how many breaking balls they throw. Let's go to Albie in Brooklyn. Albie.
Hey, Mike. Love the show. First time calling for the new rendition.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man, you're doing great, man. So my question was for the bullpen, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got 3 guys potentially that are going to come back in Rodon, Heel, and Cole. How do you think that would affect the bullpen if everybody's healthy, given the way it is today?
Well, I think that, Albie, what's going to happen is that at least one of the starters is going to go into the bullpen. Maybe it's Weathers because he throws hard, left-handed. That's something that they're missing out there. Could be him. Could be Warren too. I mean, there's got to be a couple of guys that drop out because they're working right now with a 4-man staff. So next week they're going to call up Heel. So then it becomes 5, and somebody in the bullpen is going to have to go down. I don't know who that's going to be. If it's Winquist, who still hasn't appeared in the game, they risk losing him because he's a Rule 5 pick. They have to offer him back to the Cardinals. So I don't know if it would be Winquist. It would probably be the guy who's not pitching well and has an option left. And then when Cole and Rodon come back, well, which of the starters goes into the bullpen? Which one translates the best? Is it Weathers? Would it be Warren? At that point, might they call up LaGrange? All choices they have before they go to the trade market. But as I said at the beginning of the show, the bullpen, it's early. Let's not freak out and overreact. The bullpen has a chance to be a concern. Of all the parts of the team, that's the one that is not a slam dunk championship level part. But they do have moves to make because when those starters do come back, people will translate to the bullpen. And we'll see how well they translate. All right, so the national championship tonight, the Knicks and the Hawks tonight as well. Tomorrow, baseball back in New York. The Mets have changed their game to a 4:10 start against the Diamondbacks. The Yankees at this point are still scheduled for a night game at the stadium against the Athletics. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 1. Coming up, Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See you, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow at 1.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPN New York Contests.